you wanted to talk about a lot of panic in the summer transfer windows on signings. What's this all about?
Yeah, so obviously trolling through a few of the Liverpool forums this last week, and for some reason there's a lot of polls up, and it started off, FSG, you want them in, do you want them out? And there's been rumours around Klopp not being happy with the lack of signings, and there's actually a very good one today where Jose Enrique came out, kind of, Liverpool ambassador, and was saying, oh, they can't be happy with the lack of signings and the lack of kind of, willingness to push the club forward. And then there was a little rumour come out on Twitter there just before we come on, which I got a little laugh out, saying Klopp asked Enrique to make that statement, to push the guys up high up, to give them an L, kick in the backside, So there's a good rumour, man. Klopp went to Enrique to say, listen, I need signings and you're the man to get them for me. But no, but it is a very real thing, I think, insofar as if you're a Liverpool supporter, you're looking at the outs, they're looking to get rid of Wilson. And in fairness, they've made some real good, tidy profit on the young lads coming out of the club recently. They've made, 10, 12 million on most sales. They're looking to let go of maybe Shaqiri. He'll raise a few quid as well. So it definitely feels that Liverpool are a sell to buy club. But it's just the delay that they always seem to put you through, even with the Jota scenario last year, where everyone was like, right, listen, no one's coming in. And then all of a sudden, bam, they hit with Jota. Now, they got their business done early in the window as far as nailing down the centre-back. So they got Konate sealed up. But it's been very, very quiet since then. And you're kind of thinking to yourself, is that the way forward now? Is frugality going to be the way it is? And I'm, that old favourite word of the Liverpool supporters, the net spend. Like, Liverpool are in 10th place with their net spend over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, the two Manchester clubs are up there kind of spending 3 times the amount of them. But it just seems to be, after the year we've had with COVID, there's no, there would have been little or no profit as far as ticket sales, fans attending and stuff like that. It doesn't just seem to be a Liverpool thing. It's a German thing. It's an Italian thing. It's a Spanish thing. That unless you have the billionaire sugar daddy owners like City, like Chelsea, you're just not spending the money. But I guess it's still lingering over Liverpool fans that you had a team that was considered one of the best in Europe, and you haven't really strengthened in the way that you might during the last maybe 2 windows. So it's a bone of contention.
Dave, what way do you look at that? It's more than likely the way that, as Neil said, if you haven't got the big sugar daddies, that you're going to have to balance your books. How do you see Liverpool doing that?
I'd say the biggest fear, I suppose, with fans is something that we touched on over the last few weeks, is the fear of standing still while you're watching United build slowly but surely, especially now with Varane after coming in, and then obviously Sancho, and there's rumours of others. You've got Chelsea going hard, you've got City potentially with the likes of a Grealish and Kane, and all of a sudden we're going, all right, we're back in the pack again. Geez, that was great.
Dave, are they not just rumours so far? Chelsea haven't got anyone, and
no, but they're actively going hard, and there's no denying that they're not. Like, these clubs are actively trying to get players, and there's no denying it. Whether they get them or not is a different story. But there's no talk of Liverpool being actively working hard on somebody. Now, I'm not overly worried about that as of yet, because Liverpool seem to do a kind of a bit of a sniper role, and then we be like, literally before this is over, there could be a breaking news: Liverpool have signed XYZ, and you're scratching your head going, where did he come from? But I suppose I had it up here just to see if I would segue it in at some point. But Neil is right, with the whole pandemic as well. Like, there was a combined 3.4 billion across the big 5 leagues lost in revenue last season. Obviously, German, as usual, only had a 4% loss compared to double figures for the rest of them. So they're all feeling the pinch, and there's no two ways about it. And I think what the biggest factor is that is ignored a little bit, as much as Liverpool seem to sell to build up the pot, Liverpool have brought in a hell of a lot of revenue in the last 2 or 3 years. And if they want to spend a little bit more, they can do it. And I think that's where potentially the frustration is, because they get released every year, go on to a guy called Swiss Ramble on Twitter, and all the clubs are there, and all their money and all their revenues are there. Liverpool have made a lot of money in the last 2 or 3 years. I know they put a lot of it into the ground, and they're looking to put more into the new ground, or the new the back of the ground, to increase it to beyond 60. So maybe they're trying to be too clever and balance a bit of both, be successful and get that going, and then the match day revenues go up to another notch and we can compete with the big boys. But you're playing with fire when you look at what potentially Chelsea, United, and City can do.
Yeah. Neil, does this all tie in with the strengthened rumours this week about Jack Grealish? 100 million bid from Manchester City. Leon Bailey, like we talked about last week, it was a rumour last week that he may go to Villa. It's now more or less a done deal that he's gone for 25 million to Villa. Does this mean that Villa are going to have to sort of balance the books here and let a Jack Grealish go?
Yeah, I think they're all balancing books in one way or form. But I mean, when you're Villa and you have a Jack Grealish, I think if anyone learned anything from Spurs a couple of years ago when they let go of Bale, there's nothing worse than having 100 million in the coffers and everybody knowing you have 100 million in the coffers and they can fleece you. So I think Villa are going about it the right way. I think they're sorting out a couple of these targets, 20 million, 25 million. There's a rumour of Todd Cantwell from Norwich being another alternative if they go that route. But Villa are definitely better off strengthening now and getting that done, because you know what I mean. I think they've let the cat out of the bag now that City have tabled or whatever it is, 100 million bid, or at least have expressed interest that is out in the open now. And let's be honest, City are going to get their man, be it Grealish, be it Kane. They're going to get somebody. That seems to be the way it's going. So Villa are doing the right thing, but Villa are investing, I think, in the right manner. The next question is, can they get them transfers right? Because again, referring back to Spurs that time, they went and blew 30 million on a handful of strikers, Rebrov and a few of these guys who just never really lit the touch paper, So it'll be interesting where they go with their 100 million. But I still think Villa are playing it the right way. They're giving themselves enough time to bring in new heads. They're not going to kind of go the Daniel Levy route, which I think he's going to go right down to the last day with Harry Kane. So I think Villa are doing the right way. They're investing. I think they're already pretty happy with the squad they have. Obviously, then you're losing a talisman. You want to be able to balance it out with 2 or 3 players that can go straight into your first 11.
Yeah, and I think it's Bundia from Norwich.
Yeah, he's there already.
He's got him already. So they've already got 2 players in who could cover a Jack Grealish transfer. So
they've already put in a bid and it was rejected by Southampton for Ward-Prowse. So it looks like they're kind of getting their signings in, and then all of a sudden that potential transfer to City could happen, I reckon. I think that's what it is. They're trying to get their ducks in a row, and then, right, now you can have them.
Yeah,
that's what it seems.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, no, doing it the right way, I think you're right there.